Hey guys, this is part part five of part five of my MCU readings, and there is a possibility that I would or that I'd might read Captain Marvel. It's there's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just that it's not on Blu-ray or digital yet, and without that, I can't find a script anywhere. So all I have to do is hope is that it comes out like that uh, in the days coming before Endgame. And if it doesn't, I'll try and read it as soon as it does. But let's set that aside and go to today's episode. Captain America, the first Avenger. Alright, let's do this. Search team leader. Are you the guys from Washington? Shield Tech. Do you get many other visitors out there? Shield Lieutenant. How long have you been on the site? Since this morning. A Russian oil team's called in about 18 hours ago. How come nobody spotted it before? It's really not that surprising. The landscape's changing all the time. You got any ideas what this thing is exactly? I don't know, it's probably a weather balloon. I don't think so. We don't have the equipment for a job like this. How long before we start craning it out? I don't think you quite understand. You guys are gonna need one hell of a crane. The shot widens as we see a massive frozen ship revealed. After breaking into metal aircraft. Shield Lieutenant. Ba Base, we're in. What is this? The technician nearly slips on the ice covering the ground. Shield Tech, finding the frozen shield of Captain America. Lieutenant, what is it? Oh my god. Base, give me a line to Colonel. Voice from earpiece. It's 3 a.m., sir. I don't care what time it is. This one's waited long enough. March 1942. Tonsberg, Norway. A villager, Jan, is running into a church. They've come for it. They have had before. They have before. Not like this. Let them come. They'll never find it. Rumbling is heard and something breaks down the door. The stone's killing Jen. The tower keeper closes Jan's eyes and sees a machine moving away as Hydra agents come in. A car drives up with the Hydra symbol on the hood. Hydra agents try to lift the lid of a coffin. Hydra Lieutenant, open it quickly before he joins Schmidt. It has taken me a long time to find this place. You should be commended. Help him up. One of the soldiers helps the tower keeper to his feet. I think you are a man of great vision, and in this way we are much alike. I am nothing like you. No, of course. But what others see as superstition, you and I know to be science. What you seek is just a legend. Then why make such an effort to conceal it? Opens an old tomb and picks up the glass cube from the skeletal remains of an old Viking. The Tesseract was the jewel of Odin's treasure room. He turns to face the tower keeper and deliberately drops and smashes the glass cube. But it's not something one buries. But I think it is close, yes? I cannot help you. No, but maybe you can help your village. You must have some friends out there. Some. Some little grandchildren, perhaps. I have no need for them to die. A big tank outside turns his guns towards the village threateningly, referring to the carving of the three of the one tower walls. Yggdrasil, Yggdrasil, Tree of the World, Guardian of Wisdom and Fate. Also, he presses a button on the carving of a tree and opens it up to reveal the real cube. The for her digs for trinkets in the desert. You have never seen this, have you? Not for the eyes of ordinary men. Exactly. He closes the box containing the glowing cube and turns to his soldiers. Give order to the open fire. Hydrogen. Draw. Yes. Fool, you cannot control the power you hold. You will burn. I already have. He shoots and kills the tower keeper. In New York, at the enrollment facility. 4F Doctor. O'Connell, Michael. Jaminski, Henry. Steve Rogers. Boy, a lot of guys getting killed over there. Rogers, Steven. Steve puts down the newspaper he's reading. Enlisting, right? It kind of makes you think twice about enlisting, huh? No. As Steve is standing half naked from the doctor to examine him for enlistment. Rogers, what did your father die of? Mustard gas. He was in the 107th Infantry. I was hoping I could be assigned. Your mother? She was a nurse in the TB ward. Got hit, couldn't shake it. The doctor looks at Steve's file, but shows he has a long list of health issues. Sorry, son. Look, just give me a chance. You'd be negligible on your asthma alone. Is there anything you can do? I'm doing it. I'm saving your life. He stamps the card 4F. Later, Steve is at the movie theater. A commercial about the war is being played before the movie. Commercial announcer. War continues to ravage Europe, but help is on the way. Every able-bodied young man is lining up to serve his country. Even little Timmy is doing his part collecting scrap metal. Nice work, Timmy. Who cares? Play the movie already. Hey, you want to show some respect? Meanwhile, overseas, our brave boys are showing the Axis powers that the price freedom is never too high. Let's get on with it. Hey, just start the cartoon. Hey buddy, you wanna shut up? The guy gets up and looks at him. Commercial announcer. Together with allied forces, we'll face any threat, no matter the size. Then, Steve Rogers gets beaten up in an alley. You just don't know when to give up, do you? I can do this all day. Bucky. Hey, pick on someone your own size. After saving Steve from any further beatings. Barnes. Sometimes I think you like getting him punched. I had him on the ropes. Picks up Steve's enlistment form from the ground. How many times is this? Reading from the enlistment form. Oh, you're from Paramus now? You know it's illegal to lie on the enlistment form. And seriously, Jersey? To get your orders? The 107th, Sergeant James Barnes, shipping out for England first thing tomorrow. I should be going. Come on, man, my last night. Gotta get you cleaned up. Why, where are we going? In the future. He hands him the newspaper he was holding. Steve opens it up to see the ad for the World Exposition of Tomorrow, 1943. I don't see what the problem is. You're about to be the last eligible man in New York. You know, there's 3.5 million women out there. Well, I tell for just one. Good thing I took care of that. He waves to the dates, Connie and Bunny. He's lined up. Connie. Hey, Bucky. What did you tell her about me? Only the good stuff. Music starts playing. Expo announcer. Welcome to the Modern Marvels Pavilion and the world of tomorrow. A greater world. A better world. Oh my god, it's starting. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Howard Stark. Howard enters the stage and kisses the announcer. Random woman. I love you, Howard. Howard Stark, addressing the audience at the World Exposition Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that in just a few short years, your automobile won't even have to touch the ground at all? Female helpers shake the wheels of the car on stage. Thanks, yes, Mandy, addressing the audience again. With Stark robotic reversion technology, you'll be able to do just that. Turns on the switch of his machine and the car starts to hover off the ground. Holy cow. The robot's making the car, however, suddenly malfunction, the car falls back on stage. I did say a few years, didn't I? Everyone laughs. Steve disappears and Bucky notices. James Barnes. Hey Steve, what do you say if we treat these girls? At a recruitment theater. Woman, to her male company, pulling him away from the mirror, making him look like a soldier. Come on, soldier. Steve steps in front of the mirror, but he's too short to fill out the face. James Barnes. Come on, you're kind of missing the point of a double date. We're taking the girls dancing. You go ahead, I'll catch up with you. You're really gonna do this again? Well, it's a fair. I'm gonna try my luck. As who? Steve from Idaho? They'll catch you. Or worse, they'll actually take you. Look, I know you don't think I can do this. This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war. I know it's a war. You don't have to tell me. Yes. Yes. My door. Sorry for the slight intermission. Alright, let's go. How long have I been out? I'm head out for 6 minutes probably. Okay. As who? C from Idaho? They'll catch you. Or worse, they'll actually take you. Look, I know you don't think that I can do this. This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war. I know it's a war. You don't have to tell me. Why are you so keen to fight? There are so many important jobs. What am I gonna do? Collect scrap metal? Yes. In my little red wagon? Why not? I'm not gonna sit in a factory, Bucky. Bucky, come on. They're a man laying down their lives. I got no right to do any less than them. That's what you don't understand. This isn't about me. Right, because you got nothing to prove. Hey, Sarge, are we going dancing? Yes, we are. Back to Steve. Don't do anything stupid until I get back. How can I? You're taking all this stupid with you. James Barnes, you're a punk. He walks back towards Steve and hugs him goodbye. Jerk, be careful, as James is walking away. Don't win the war till I get there. He salutes and starts to walk away. Come on, girls, they're playing our song. Steve is in a medical examination room when a nurse whispers something inaudible to the young doctor. Young doctor, wait here. Is there a problem? Just wait here. Steve looks to a sign warning against lying on your enlistment form and starts to get ready to leave. An enlistment office MP walks in the room and Steve looks at him worriedly. Dr. Abraham Erskine enters the room as enlistment office MP quietly leaves. Dr. Abraham Erskine to MP. Thank you. So you want to go overseas, kill some Nazis? Excuse me? Dr. Abraham Erskine walks over and introduces himself to Steve. I represent the Strategic Scientific Reserve. Steve Rogers. Starts looking through Steve's file. Where are you from? Queens. 73rd Street, Utopia Parkway. Before that, Germany. This troubles you? No. There's something up with my phone. There's I get notifications, but they don't make any sounds. I'm gonna try and fix that later. Where are you from, Mr. Rogers? Is it New Haven? Or Paramus? 5 exams in 5 different cities. That might not be the right file. No, it's not the exams I'm interested in. It's the 5 tries, but you didn't answer my question. You want to kill Nazis? Is this a test? Yes. I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from. Well, there are already so many big men fighting this war. Maybe what we need now is a little guy, huh? I can offer you a chance. They exit the room. Only a chance. I'll take it. Good. So where is this little guy from, actually? Brooklyn. Dr. Abraham Bernstein stamps Steve's form and hands him back his file. Congratulations, soldier. Steve opens up the file and sees that he's been stamped as accepted. In a Hydra lab in a very mountainous region. Are you ready, Dr. Zola? My machine requires the most delicate calibration. Forgive me if I seem overcautious. And are you certain those conductors of yours can withstand the energy surge long enough for a transference? Transference? With this artifact, I am certain of nothing. I fear it may not work at all. Schmidt inserts a tesseract carefully into the machine. Zola starts it up. 20%, 40, 60, stabilizing at 70%. I have not come all this way for safety, Doctor. He turns all the controls to maximum and blue light flutters through the room. What is that? After successfully collecting the power from the glowing tesseract using Zola's machine. I must congratulate you, Aaron. Your designs do not disappoint, though they may require some slight reinforcement. The exchange is stable. Amazing. The energy we have just collected could power my design. All my designs. This will change the war. Dr. Zola, this will change the world. At a U.S. training camp, Steve... At a U.S. training camp, Steve stands in line with the others. Officer, off-screen to the other soldiers training. Ready, exercise. Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter. Recruits, attention, gentlemen. I'm Agent Carter. I supervise all operations for this division. Gilmer Hodge. What's with the accent, Queen Victoria? Thought I was signing up for the U.S. Army. What's your name, soldier? Gilmer Hodge, Your Majesty. Step forward, Hodge. Hodge steps forward, smirking. Put your right foot forward. We gonna wrestle? Because I got a few moves I think you like. Suddenly, Peggy punches him hard in the face. Carl Phillips rise up. Colonel Chester Phillips. Agent Carter. Colonel Phillips. I see you're breaking in the candidates. That's good. You have to get to Hodge. Get your ass up out of that dirt and stand in line at attention till somebody comes and tells you what to do. You guys back up. Yes, sir. General Patton has said that wars are fought with weapons, but they are won by men. We are going to win this war because we have the best men. He sees Rogers and continues talking. And because they're going to get better, much better. The Strategic Scientific Reserve is an allied effort made up of the best minds in the free world. Our goal is to create the best army in history. But every army starts with one man. And at the end of this week, we will choose that man. He will be the first in a new breed of super soldiers. While Phillips talks, we see scenes of Steve unpacking and training, where he fails to keep up and gets bullied by the others. Rogers, get out of the mud. And they will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell. Then we see Steve and some other trainees running up to awaiting Peggy in a flagpole. Sergeant Duffy, pick up the pace, ladies. Let's go. Double time. Come on, faster, faster. Move, move. They arrive at the flagpole. Squad, halt. That flag means we're only at the halfway point. First man to bring it to me gets He gets a ride back with Agent Carter. Move, move. Come on, get up there. and the soldiers try to climb up the flag. If that's all you got, this army's in trouble. Get up there, Hodge. Come on, get up there. Nobody's got that flag in 15 years. Now fall back into line. Come on, fall in. Information. Rogers, I said fall in. Steve pulls a pin out of the bottom of the pole, causing it to fall over. As he gives a flag to Sergeant Duffy. Thank you, sir. He climbs into the car, and they drive away. The soldiers are doing push-ups. Peggy Carter. Faster, ladies, come on. My grandmother has more life in her. God rest her soul. Move it. Colonel Chester Phillips, walking beside Xerxes. You're really not thinking about picking Rogers, are you? I'm more than thinking about it. He's a clear choice. When you bought a 90-pound asthmatic into my army base, I let it slide. I thought, what the hell? Maybe he'll be useful to you, like a gerbil. I never thought you'd pick him. Peggy Carter, as Phillips and her soon arrive, she commands the soldiers, up. You stick a needle in that kid's arm and it's going to go straight through him. Watching Steve struggling while training with the other recruits. Peggy Carter, come on, girls. Phillips, look at that, he's making me cry. I'm looking for qualities beyond the physical. Do you know how long it took to set up this project? Yeah, I know. All the groveling I had to do in front of Senator What's-His-Name's committees. Pregnant. Yes, I know. I am well aware of your efforts. Then throw me a bone. Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders. He's a soldier. He's a bully. You don't win wars with niceness, Doctor. He takes a hand grenade. You win war with guts. He throws the grenade where the recruits are training. Grenade! All the soldiers move away quickly, but Steve jumps on top of it, covering it with his body. Get away! Get back! Waits for the grenade to go off, but nothing happens. It was a dummy grenade. All clear, back in formation. Steve looks at Phillips and Erskine. Is this a test? Erskine looks at Phillips to confirm his point about choosing Steve. He's still skinny. Later that night, Steve sits on his bunk reading. Erskine knocks on the door. May I? Yeah. Can't sleep? Got the jitters, I guess. Me too. Hey, can I ask you a question? Just one? Why me? I suppose the only question is the only question that matters. He looks down at the bottle of schnapps he bought with him. This is from Augsburg, my city. So many people forget that was the first country that the Nazis invaded was their own. You know, after the last war, my people struggled. They felt weak. They felt small. And then Hitler comes along with the marching and the big show and the flags and the and he hears of me, my work, and he finds me. He says, you will make us strong. Well, I'm not interested. So he sends the head of Hydra, his research division, a brilliant scientist by the name of Johann Schmidt. Now Schmidt is a member of the inner circle and he's ambitious. He and Hitler share a passion to occult power and Teutonic myth. Hitler uses his fantasies to inspire his followers. But for Schmidt, it is not fantasy. For him, it is real. He has become convicted that there is a great power hidden on Earth, left here by the gods. wanting to be seized by a superior man. So when he hears about my formula and what it can do, he cannot resist. Flashback how Schmidt takes Erskine formula and injects himself with it. Schmidt must become that superior man. Did it make him stronger? Yeah, but there were some other effects. The serum was not ready. But more important, the man. The serum amplifies everything that is inside, so good becomes great, bad becomes worse. This is why you were chosen, because a strong man who has known power all his life will lose respect for that power. But a weak man who knows the value of strength and knows compassion thanks, I think. He pours 2 drinks. Whatever happens tomorrow, you must promise me one thing. You will stay who you are. Not a perfect soldier, but a good man. Steve holds up his glass to toast. To the little guys. Just as Steve's about to drink from his glass. No, wait, what am I doing? No, you have a product here tomorrow. You have a procedure tomorrow. No fluids. He pours the contents of Steve's glass into his own. Alright, we'll drink it after. No, I don't have a procedure tomorrow. Drink it after, and drink it now. At the Hydra facility, in Schmidt's lab. He turns off the light. Is there something in particular you need? An artist is painting Schmidt's portrait in oil. I understand you found him. See for yourself. Zola steps over to the table to find several surveillance photos of Dr. Erskine. You disapprove. I just don't see why you need concern yourself. I can't imagine you will succeed. Looking nervously at Schmidt. Again. His serum is the Allies' only defense against this power we now possess. If we take it away from them, then our victory is assured. Shall I give them the order? It has been given. Good. Dr. Zola, what do you think? A masterpiece. The artist looks to see Zola's assessment. Steve and Peggy whilst driving through Brooklyn. I know this neighborhood. I got beat up in that alley, and that parking lot, and behind that diner. Did you have something against running away? They'll stop. You start running, and they'll never let you stop. You stand up, push back. Can't say no forever, right? I know a little of what's that like. To have every door shut in your face. Well, I guess, I don't. Why you'd want to join? I don't know why you'd want to join the army if you're a beautiful dame, or a woman, an agent, not a dame. You're beautiful, but you have no idea how to talk to a woman, do you? This is the longest conversation I've ever had with one. Women aren't exactly lining up to dance with a guy they might step on. You must have danced. Well, asking a woman to dance always seems so terrifying, and in the past few years, it just didn't seem to matter that much. Figured I'd wait. For what? The right partner. They pull up by an antique shop and get out of the car. This way. What are we doing here? Follow me. Antique store owner. Wonderful, well, weather this morning, isn't it? Yes, but I always carry an umbrella. Peggy leads Steve into the hidden lab of Dr. Erskine and his team in a big circular room filled with machinery and a pod in the middle. Dr. Abraham Erskine. Erskine. Is that how you pronounce it? Hold on, I'm going to search this up. How do you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? Let me see.
The following pronunciation is brought to you by pronouncenames.com. Erskine.
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 Okay. All this time I'm calling him Erskine. Dr. Abraham Erskine. Good morning. He shakes Steve's hand and somebody takes a photograph. Please, not now. The photographer walks away. Steve looks at the pod. Are you ready? Steve nods. Good. Take off your shirt, your tie, and your hat. In the adjacent observation chamber filled with officials. Senator Wren, I'm glad you can make it. Why exactly am I in Brooklyn? We needed access to a city's power grid. Of course, you'd given me the generators I requisitioned. A lot of people are asking for funds, Colonel. Referring to his company. Oh, this is Fred Clemson, State Department. He shakes Philip's hand. If this project of yours comes through, we'd like to see it used for something other than headlines. Looking down into the chamber at Steve. Jesus, somebody get that kid a sandwich. In the chamber, Steve has climbed into the pod and lain down. Comfortable? It's a bit big. You saved me any of that schnapps? Not as much as I could have. Sorry. Next time. Mr. Stark, how are your levels? Levels at 100%. Good. We may dim half the lights in Brooklyn, but we're ready as we'll ever be. Agent Carter, don't you think you would be more comfortable in the booth? Oh yes, of course, sorry. Dr. Abraham Erskine. Good. He takes the microphone and taps it. Do you hear me? Is this on? To a small group gathers to watch Steve, being prepared to become the super soldier. Ladies and gentlemen, today we take not another step towards annihilation, but the first step on the path to peace. We begin with a series of micro-injections into the subject's major muscle groups. The serum infusion will cause immediate cellular change, and then to stimulate growth, the subject will be saturated with beta rays. Steve Rogers, after injection. That wasn't so bad. That was penicillin. Serum infusion beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The serum is injected into Steve. Now Mr. Stark. Stark lowers the lever. The pod moves upright and encloses Steve inside. Knocking on the capsule that they blocks Steve in the procedures to change him. Steven, can you hear me? It's probably too late to go to the bathroom, right? We will proceed. Howard Stark manages the controls. That's 10%, 20%, 30%, that's 40%. Vital signs are all normal. That's 50, 60, 70. As Steve is screaming in pain as he's receiving the Vita rays. Steven, shut it down. Steven knocks on the pod. Shut it down. Kill the reactor, Mr. Stark. Turn it off. Kill it. Kill the reactor. No, don't. I can't do this. 80, 90. That's 100%. Everything overloads until the reactor closes itself down. Mr. Stark? Stark opens the pod. After being transformed to a super soldier. Steven. Colonel Chester Phillips. The son of a bitch did it. As everyone pours out the observation chamber, Kruger leaves a small metal object, like a cigarette case behind. As he stumbles out of the Steve Rogers, as he stumbles out of the pod, supported by Stark and Erskine. I did it. Yeah, I think we did it. Howard Stark, we actually did it. Peggy Carter, how do you feel? Taller. You look taller. How do you like Brooklyn now, Senator? I can think of some folks in Berlin who are about to get very nervous. Congratulations, Doctor. He shakes hands with Erskine. Erskine, thank you, sir. Kruger detonates the bomb in the observation room and uses the confusion to steal the last vial of the serum. Stop him! Kruger shoots him and flees with Peggy, chasing after him. Steve kneels beside Erskine, who points at Steve's chest and dies. Kruger shoots his way into a getaway car, but soon after he drives away, Peggy shoots the driver, and the car crashes into a taxi, so Kruger changes cars. Taxi driver, what are you doing? Buddy, are you alright? Hey, this guy's been shot. Kruger takes off in the taxi, straight towards Peggy. He shoots at him, but he just ducks and keeps going. Steve shoves her out of the way. I had him. Sorry. He runs after the cab. While chasing the car, he loses control over his new power and crashes into a bridal store. I'm sorry. He runs out into a street full of cars. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Steve catches up to Kruger's car, the Pierre, and causes him to lose his control. Kruger gets out of the car and takes a young boy hostage. Mother, no, not my son. Stop it. Don't hurt him. Kruger, get back. Kruger, with the boy dangling in his arms, runs away. Let me go. Let go of my son. Don't hurt him. Steve Rogers, as Kruger points a gun at the boy's head. Wait, don't. Kruger points the gun at Steve and pulls the trigger, but the gun is empty. So instead he throws the boy into the water. No, don't. Kruger runs. Steve looks out of the boy. Go get him, I can swim. Kruger tries to escape in his submarine, but Steve jumps into the water, breaks the window, and pulls Kruger out back onto dry land. They struggle further. As they struggle further, the vial breaks. Who the hell are you? The first of many. Cut off one head, two more shall take its place. Hail Hydra. He pops a fake tooth loose and swallows it. He starts to foam at the mouth and then die. At Hydra headquarters. The Fuhrer is not accustomed to being ignored or Schmidt. He funds your research because you promised him weapons. You serve at his pleasure. He gave you this facility as reward for your injuries. Reward? Call it what it is. Exile. I no longer reflect his image of Aryan perfection. You think this is about appearances? Your Hydra division has failed to deliver so much as a rifle over a year. We now learn, we had learned through local intelligence you had mounted a full-scale incursion into Norway. The Fuhrer feels, how does he put it? The Red Skull has been indulged long enough. Gentlemen, you have come to see the results of our work. Let me show you. They enter the lab. Hitler speaks of a 1,000-year reach, but he still cannot feed his army for a month. His troops spill blood across every field in Europe. but he but still he is no closer to achieving his goals. Rohiter, and I suppose you still aim to end this war through magic? Science, but I understand your confusion. Great power has always baffled primitive men. Hydra is assembling an arsenal to destroy my enemies in one stroke, wherever they are, regardless of how many forces they possess, all in a matter of hours. Your enemies? My weapons contain enough destructive power to decimate every hostile capital on Earth. Quite simply, gentlemen, I have harnessed the power of the gods. Thank you, Schmidt. For what? For making it clear how obviously mad you are. Huter, studying a map on Schmidt's labor. Berlin is on this map. So it is. You should be punished for your insolence. You will be brought before the Fuhrer himself. Schmidt uh, kills them all with his new Tesseract-powered cannon. Fuhrer screams before he's disintegrated. Schmidt, my apologies, Doctor. Though we both knew Hydra could grow no further in Hitler's shadow. Hail Hydra! Hail Hydra! Raising both their arms to salute. Zola, when Schmidt turns to him. Hail Hydra! At SSR compound. Referring to the amount of blood samples taken from him. You think you got enough? Any hope of reproducing a program is locked in your genetic code, but without Dr. Erskine, it could take years. He deserved more than this. If it could only work once, he'd be proud it was you. SSR Tech Lab with Hydra Submarine. Colonel Phillips, my committee is demanding answers. Great, why don't we start with how a German spy got a ride to my secret installation in your car? To Stark, who is working on the submarine. What have we got here? Speaking modestly, I'm the best mechanical engineer in this country, but I don't know what's inside this thing or how it works. We're not even close to this technology. Then who is? Hydra. I'm sure you've been reading our briefings. I'm on a number of committees, Colonel. Hydra is the Nazi Deep Science Division. It is led by Johann Schmidt, but he has much bigger ambitions. Hydra's practically a cult. They worship Schmidt. They think he's invincible. So what are you going to do about it? Spoke to the president this morning. As of today, the SSR is being retasked. Colonel, we're taking the flight to Hydra. Pack your bags, Unit Carter. You too, Stark. You're flying to London tonight. I'm gonna check something real quick. We spoke to the president this morning. As of today, the SSR is being retasked. Colonel Phillips, we're taking the flight to Hydra. Pack your bags, Agent Carter. You too, Stark. You're flying to London tonight. Sir, if you're going after Schmidt, I want in. You're an experiment. You're going to Alamogordo. The serum worked. I asked for an army, and all I got was you. You are not enough. Senator Brent, to Steve. With all due respect to the Colonel, I think we may be missing the point. I've seen you in action, Steve. Most importantly, the country's seen it. To his aide. Paper. The aide shows him the newspaper, the New York Examiner, volume. The New York Examiner, volume 17, numbered 33.634. Wednesday, June 23rd, 1943. Headlines: Nazis in New York. Mystery man saves child. The enlistment lines have been around the block since your picture hit the newsstands. You don't take a soldier, a symbol like that, and hide him in a lab. Son, how do you want to serve your country in the most important battlefield of the war? Sir, that's all I want. Then congratulations. You just got promoted. Steve Rogers, backstage as he's getting dressed in a superhero costume. I don't know if I can do this. Nothing to it. Sell off a few bonds, bonds buy bullets, bullets kill Nazis. Bing bang boom, you're an American hero. It's just not how I pictured getting there. Baron's aide. The senator's got a lot to pull up on the hill. You play ball with us, you'll be leading your own platoon in no time. Take the shield. As Steve puts on his head and mask, he pushes Steve's onto the stage. Who's young and brave, here to save the American way? Not all of us can storm a beach or drive a tank, but there's still a way all of us can fight. Who vows to fight like a man for what's right night and day? Series E defense bonds. Each one you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun. Who will campaign door to door for America? Carry the flag shore to shore for America. From Hoboken to Spokane, the Star-Spangled Man with a plan. Steve leads a group of men dressed as soldiers in front of a moving image. Cut, guys, don't look at the camera. Cut to a scene where he's on tour. We can't ignore there's a threat and war we must win. Each one you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun. Who will hang a noose on the goose stepping goons from Berlin? Who will redeem, heed the call for America? Who will rise or fall, give his all for America? Who's here to prove that we can? The Star-Spangled Man with a plan. We all know this is about trying to win the war, but we can't do that without bullets and bandages, tanks and tents. That's where you come in. Every bond you buy will help protect someone you love. A man dressed as Hitler sneaks up to him on stage. Kids in USO audience. Turn around, he's right behind you. Steve Rogers. Keep our boys armed and ready. And the Germans will think twice about trying to get the drop on us. The man attacks him and gets fake punch. Stalwart and steady and true, forceful and ready to defend the red, white, and blue. Who'll give the Axis the sack and smart as a fox, as far as the eagle will soar? Who's making it all afraid to step out of his box? He'll know who we're fighting for. Who waked the giant that napped in America? We know it's no one but Captain America. Who will finish what they began? Who will kick the crotch to Japan? The Star-Spangled Man with a plan. Scenes show how Captain America goes on tour around America, appears in comics and films, how he's approached by multiple fans and generally becomes more liked and famous. Italy, November 1943, 5 miles from the front. Steve addresses a crowd of soldiers dressed in his superhero costume. How many of you are ready to help me saw a gold Adolf on the jaw? Silence from crowd of soldiers. Okay, I need a volunteer. I already volunteered. How do you think I got here? The crowd of soldiers laughed. Bring back the girls. There's a cheer from the soldiers. I think they only know one song, but I'll see what I can do. You do that, sweetheart. Nice boots, Tinkerbell. The crowd of soldiers laugh. Come on, guys, we're all on the same team here. Hey, campaign, and sign this. He turns around and pulls his pants down, and the crowd starts to throw things at Steve. Bring back the girls. The woman runs on stage, and the crowd cheers. Grant's aide. Backstage, Steve. Don't worry, pal. They'll warm up for you. They'll warm up to you. Don't worry. Ooh, 32 out of 60. We're just over halfway in. How long have I been recording? Yeah, I'm an hour already. Damn. Later, Steve sits on the edge of the stage, sketching as rain pours down in the background. Hello, Steve. He turns around and looks at Peggy. Hi. Hi. What are you doing here? Officially, I'm not here at all. That was quite a performance. Yeah, I needed to improvise a little bit. Crowds I'm used to are usually more, 12. I understand you're America's New Hope. Bond sales will take a 10% bump in every state I visit. Is that Senator Brandt here? At least he's got me doing this. Phillips would have Phillips would have me head stuck in the lab. And these are your only two options? A lab rat or a dancing monkey? You you were meant for more than this, you know. Steve goes to respond but hesitates. What? You know, for the longest time, I dreamed about coming overseas and being on the front lines, serving my country, finally getting everything I wanted. And I'm wearing tights. Honking in the background as an ambulance arrives with wounded soldiers. Steve and Peggy turn around to watch. They look like they've been through hell. These men are more than most. Schmidt sent out a force to Anazo. 200 men went up against him and less than 50 returned. Your audience contained what was left of the 107th. The rest were killed or captured. The 107th? What? Come on, they're 1 to 10. Colonel Phillips. Colonel Chester Phillips. Well, if it isn't the Star-Spangled Man with a plan. What's your plan today? I need the casualty list from Enozo. You don't get to give me orders, son. I just need one name. Sergeant James Barnes from the 107th. Colonel Chester Phillips pointing to Peggy. You and I are going to have a conversation later that you won't enjoy. Please tell me he is alive, sir. B-A-R. I can spell, referring to Barnes. I've signed more of these condolence letters later today than I could care to count, but the name does sound familiar. I'm sorry. What about the others? Are you planning a rescue mission? Yeah, it's called Winning the War. But if you know where they are, why not at least? They're 30 miles behind the lines, through the most heavily fortified territory in Europe. We'd lose more men than we'd save. But I don't expect you to understand that, because you're just a chorus girl. I think I understand just fine. Well then understand it somewhere else. If I read the posters correctly, you've got someplace to be in 30 minutes. As Phillips walks away, Steve's looks at the military map that shows where the men are. Yes, sir, I do. Colonel Phillips is begging. If you have something to say, right now is a perfect time to keep it to yourself. She follows Steve to his tent where he starts to change and pack some things. What do you plan to do? Walk to Austria, if that's what it takes. You hit the colonel. Your friend is most likely dead. You don't know that. Even so, he's devising a strategy. If he detects, by the time he's done that, it could be too late. He walks out to a jeep. You told me you thought I was meant for more than this. Did you mean that? Every word. Then you gotta let me go. I can do more than that. Backstage with the USO girls. Backstage. On stage girls, 5 minutes. Where's my helmet? Has anyone seen Rogers? Peggy and Steve in a plane piloted by Stark. Peggy Carter. The Hydra camp is in Kreuzberg, tucked between these two mountain ranges. It's a factory of some kind. We should be able to drop you right on the doorstep. Just get me as close as you can, referring to Stark and Peggy helping him. You know, you two are going to be in a lot more trouble at the lab. And you won't? Where I'm going. And if anybody yells at me, I can just shoot him. They will undoubtedly shoot back. Well, let's hope it's good for something. He knocks at his shield. Howard Stark. Agent Carter. We're not in too much of a hurry. I thought I could stop off in Uldren for a late night fondue. Peggy looks awkwardly at Steve, who's getting ready to parachute. Peggy Carter. Stark is the best civilian pilot I've ever seen. He's mad enough to brave this airspace. We're lucky to have him. So, you two, do you fondue? She ignores Peggy Carter and ignores Steve. He's awkward and confused, rambling. This is your transponder. Activate it when you're ready, and the signal will lead us straight to you. Are you sure this thing works? It's been tested more than you, pal. As their plane is being attacked, Steve goes towards the open door of the plane to jump. Get back here. We're taking you all the way in. As soon as I'm free, you turn this thing around and get the hell out of here. You can't give me orders. The hell I can. I'm a captain. He looks at her and jumps out of the plane. In the Hydra factory, Schmidt and Zola walk side by side through the workspace. As you can see, production of the Valkyrie is progressing on schedule, even with components of this size. Johann Schmidt. Decrease the output by 60% and see to it our other facilities do the same. But the prisoners, I'm not sure they have the strength. Then use up what strength they have left, Doctor. There are always more workers. To Dr. Armzola, to someone approaching him with a clipboard. Not now. This At the cells where the prisoners lead to, one of the guards knocks the hat from the Duggan's head. Dum-Dum Duggan. You know, Fritz, one of these days I'm gonna have a stick of my own. Steve runs through the dark woods and until he finds a road where trucks are driving by. He gets into the back at one of them and finds himself face to face with two Hydra guards. Fellas? After Steve snuck into the Hydra factory and stole a blue shining cartridge, he finds some of the captured American soldiers. Gabe Jones. Where are you supposed to be? I'm Captain America. I beg your pardon? Dum Duggan. After Steve has unlocked their main cells and prisoners start pouring out, he says to Jim Rita, a Japanese-looking man, "What, are we taking everybody?" Jim Rita takes out his dog tags. "I'm from Frenzo, Ace. Is there anybody else? I'm looking for Sergeant James Barnes." James Montgomery Fallsworth. There's an isolation ward in the factory, but no one's ever come back from it. Alright, the tree line is northwest, 80 yards past the gate. Get out fast and give him hell. I'll meet you guys in the clearing with everyone else I can find. Wait, you know what you're doing? Yeah, I've just knocked out Adolf Hitler over 200 times. The prisoners try to escape to the compound, overpowering the guards with their sheer numbers. Dernier picks up one of the new Tesseract-powered Hydra guns. You know how to use that thing? Dernier shoots, pulling up a wall. Okay. Hydra Factory Command Center. Johann Schmidt stares at a surveillance screen. What's happening? He presses an alarm. Back to prisoners in the compound. Dum-Dum and Jones overtake a small tank. Dum-Dum Dungan. Hey, not exactly a Buick. Gabe Jones points at the controls. That one. Zundung. Zundung? James Montgomery Fallsworth jumps into the tank. Get this thing going, Dungan. I didn't know you spoke German. 3 semesters at Howard's. Switch to French. Girls much cuter. I didn't ask for the resume. In the Hydra control room, Schmidt watches Steve on the monitors and decides to activate the self-destruct sequence, which are counting down from 7 minutes. No, what are you doing? An hour and 9. Our forces are outmatched. Zola looks at the screens, then runs out of the room. Dunier and Marita running through the compound with other prisoners. Keep moving, grab those grenades. Schmidt secures the Tesseract while Zola packs the blueprints of his design. Steve sees him in the corridor but hesitates to chase him when he hears someone. James Barnes. Sergeant 32557. Steve Rogers. He finds Barnes strapped in a chair in one of Schmidt's testing labs. Bucky? Oh my god. He unstraps him from the chair. Is that? Steve Rogers. It's me, Steve. Steve, come on. I thought you were dead. I thought you were smaller. Come on. What happened to you? I joined the army. Did it hurt? A little. Is it permanent? So far. They flee from the exploding factory until they meet Schmidt and Zola. Captain America. How exciting. I'm a great fan of your films. So Dr. Erskine managed it after all. Not exactly an improvement, but still impressive. Steve punches Schmidt hard in the face. You've got no idea. Haven't I? Goes to hit Steve, but Steve protects himself with the shield. As they fight, Zola pulls a lever, and the catwalk they were walking to retracts to either side, separating them. No matter what lies Erskine told you, you see, I was his greatest success. He peels off his skin to reveal that he was the Red Skull. Bucky, referring to Schmidt's skinless face. You don't have one of those, do you? You're deluded, Captain. You pretend to be a simple soldier, but in reality you're just afraid to admit that we have humanity behind. Unlike you, I embrace it proudly, without fear. Then how come you're running? Schmidt and Zola continue their escape, and so do Steve and Bucky. Come on, let's go. Up. Schmidt and Zola in an elevator. Sir, are we going to the roof? The doors open to reveal a one-man plane. What about me? Where will I sit? Schmidt gives Zola his car keys. Not a scratch, Doctor. Not a scratch. We see Schmidt and Zola escaping. Ooh, we're 41 pages in. Just 19 more. Steve and Bucky on a catwalk. Beneath them, everything is on fire. They have to reach the other side of the room over a thin gantry. Let's go, one at a time. Bucky reaches the other side, but the gantry collapses behind them. Gotta be a rope or something. Steve, just go, get out of here. No, not without you. Steve jumps over the chasm. In the army camp, Phillips is dictating a letter to the corporal. Colonel Chester Phillips. Senator Brandt, I regret to inform that Captain Stephen G. Rogers went missing behind enemy lines on the 3rd. Aerial reconnaissance has proven unfruitful. As a result, I must declare Captain Rogers killed in action. Period. Peggy Carter. The last surveillance flight is back. No sign of activity. Go and get a cup of coffee, Corporal. Yes, sir. He leaves. I can't touch Stark. He is rich and he's the Army's #1 weapons contractor. You're neither one. Peggy Carter. With respect, sir, I don't regret my actions, and I don't think Captain Rogers did either. What makes you think I give a damn about your opinions? I took a chance with you, Agent Carter, and now America's golden boy and a lot of other good men are dead, because you had a crush. It wasn't that. I had faith. Well, I hope that's a big comfort to you when they shut this division down. Soldiers start running and talking excitedly in the background. What the hell is going on out there? They follow the crowd to the edge of the camp where Steve's arriving with the freed prisoners. Man 1. Look who it is. Everyone cheers. Steve Rogers salutes to Phillips. Some of their men need medical attention. Medic, we got wounded. Medic, right over here. Steve Rogers. I'd like to surrender myself for disciplinary action. That won't be necessary. Yes, sir. Colonel Chester Phillips. He turns and walks away from Steve and he notices Peggy. Faith, huh? You're late. Holding up the broken transporter. Couldn't call my ride. James Barnes to the men. Hey, let's hear it for Captain America. More cheering. Senator Brandt. Somewhere in America talking to a small crowd. I am honored to present this medal for my valor to my personal friend, Captain America. He turns around, but no one is there. Captain America? Still nothing. Captain, that's your cue. His aide comes out, whispering something to him. General, sitting in the crowd quietly with the man next to him. I thought he'd be taller, misunderstanding the aide to be Captain America. Allied HQ in London. Steve Rogers. The 5th one was here in Poland, right near the Baltic. He marks it on a map. The 6th one was about here, 30-40 miles west of the Magnet Line. A soldier takes the map away. I just got a quick look. Well, nobody's perfect. They walk over to Phillips and another map. These are the weapon factories we know about. Sergeant Barnes said that Hydra shipped all the parts to another facility that isn't on this map. Agent Carter. Coordinate with MI6. I want every Allied eyeball looking for that main Hydra base. What about us? We're gonna set a fire under Johann Schmidt's ass. What do you say, Rogers? It's your map. You think you could wipe Hydra off it? Yes, sir. I'll need a team. Colonel Chester Phillips. We're already putting together the best men. With all due respect, sir, so am I. In a bar. Dungan. So let's get this straight. We barely got out of there alive. And you want us to go back? Pretty much. Sounds rather fun, actually. I'm in. Dernier and Gabe speaking French. Demir laughs, they shake hands. We're in. Dungan, hell, I'll always fight. But you got to do one thing for me. What's that? Open a tab. Well, that was easy. Steve Rogers goes over to the bar. Another round. Where are they putting all this stuff? James Barnes. Steve joins Bucky at the bar counter. In the background, everyone's saying there's a tavern in town. See, I told you, they're all idiots. How about you? You ready to follow Captain America into the jaws of death? Hell no. That little guy from Brooklyn who was too dumb not to run away from a fight, I'm following him. But you're keeping the outfit, right? You know what? I think it's growing on me. Peggy Carter. The singing in a bar stops as Peggy, in a tight-fitting, deep red dress, walks in. Captain? Agent Carter. Ma'am? Howard has some equipment for you to try. Tomorrow morning? Sounds good. I see the top squad is prepping for duty. You don't like music? I do, actually. I might even, when this is all over, go dancing. Then what are we waiting for? The right partner. 0800, Captain. Yes, ma'am, I'll be right there. James Barnes, referring to the rejection he got from Peggy about going dancing with him. I'm invisible. I'm turning into you. It's like some horrible dream. Don't take it so hard. Maybe she's got a friend. Well, it's waiting to see Stark. Howard Stark. Morning. By a glass chamber, Stark examines the Hydra cartridge. Emission signature is unusual. Alpha and Beta Ray neutral. Though I doubt Rogers picked up on that. Seems harmless enough. Hard to see what the fuss is all about. He removes the glowing pellet. The blast sends Stark and his engineer flying across the room. Write that down. Somewhere else in the building. Steve Rogers. To Private Lorraine. Excuse me, I'm looking for Mr. Stark. He is in with Colonel Phillips. Of course, you're welcome to wait. Steve perches on the edge of a desk to wait. I read about what you did. She holds up the newspaper showing his rescue mission. Oh yeah, well, that's I'm just doing what needed to be done. Sounded like more than that. You saved nearly 400 men. Really, it's not a big deal. Tell that to your wives. Steve gets nervous as she walks up to him. I don't think they were all married. You're a hero. Well, that depends on the definition of it, really. She grabs hold of his tie. The women of America, they owe you your things. And seeing as they're not here, drags him to the corner of the office and kisses him. Peggy Carter walks in. Captain. Steve and Private Lorraine separate. We're ready for you, if you're not otherwise occupied. Annoyed, she turns and walks ahead. Agent Carter, wait. Looks like finding a partner wasn't that hard after all. Peggy, that's not what you thought it was. I don't think anything, Captain. Not one thing. You always wanted to be a soldier, and now you are. Just like all the rest. What about you and Stark? I don't know. You two haven't been fond doing. Peggy Carter, she turns around to look at him. You still don't know a bloody thing about women. In Stark's lab. Howard Stark. Fondue is just cheese and bread, my friend. Really? I didn't think. Nor should you, pal. The moment you think you know what's going on in a woman's head, the moment your goose is well and truly cooked. Me, I concentrate on work, which is the moment, which at the moment is about making sure you and your men do not get killed. Carbon polymer, referring to a piece of cloth lying on the table, should withstand your average German bayonet. Although Hydra's not going to attack you with a pocket knife, referring to Steve's Captain America shield. I hear you're kinda attached. It's handier than you might think. I took the liberty of coming up with some options. Shows him a few shields. This one's fun. It's been fitted with electrical relays. It allows you to. What's this one? Picks up a round silver looking shield. No, that's just a prototype. What's it made of? Vibranium. It's stronger than steel and a third the weight. It's completely vibration absorbent. How come it's not a standard issue? It's the rarest metal on Earth. What are you holding there? That's all we got. Peggy Carter, as Steve's checking out the shield made out of vibranium. You quite finished, Mr. Stark? I'm sure the captain has some unfinished business. Hold up the vibranium shield against him. What do you think? Peggy picks up a gun and shoots at Steve quickly as he holds up the shield to protect himself. Yes, I think it works. She puts the gun down and walks out of the lab. Steve and Howard are looking at her stunned. I had some ideas about the uniform, giving Stark a piece of paper. Takes it. Whatever you want, pal. Montage of Captain America and his howling commandos fighting Hydra. At a site of a destroyed Hydra base. Johann Schmidt. You are failing. We are close to an offensive network that will shake the planet, yet we are continually delayed. Because you cannot outwit a simpleton with a shield. This is hardly my area of expertise. I merely develop the weapons. I cannot fire them. Finish your mission, Doctor, before the American finishes his. Guard. 2 guards arrive with the facility manager. Sir, I'm sorry, Herr Schmidt. We fought to the last man. Evidently not. Kills him. James Barnes, on a snow-covered mountain while the howling commandos prepare to zip line onto the train. Remember when I made you ride the cyclone at Coney Island? Yeah, and I threw up? Isn't this payback, isn't it? Now why would I do that? You were right. Dr. Zola's on the train. Hydra dispatcher gave him permission to open up the throttle. Wherever he's going, they must need him bad. Let's get going, because they're moving like the devil. We only got a 10-second window. You missed that window, we're bugs on a windshield. Mind the gap. Better get moving, Bugs. Maintenance, now. Steve, Bucky, and Gabe zipline onto the train. Ooh, we just got 10 more pages. Zola, watching Steve on a monitor, fighting his way through the train. Stop him, fire again. James Barnes, after Steve's help him out. I had him on the ropes. I know you did. Get down. Fire again, kill him, now. Bucky's been blasted through a hole and is now hanging outside the train. Bucky, hang on, grab my hand. No. Allied HQ in London. Phillips brings a tray of food to Zola after he's been captured and imprisoned. Colonel Chester Phillips, sit down. What's this? Steak. What's in it? Cow, Doctor. Do you realize how difficult it is to get a hold of a prime cut like that out there? I don't eat meat. Why not? It disagrees with me. How about cyanide? Does that give you the wrong bleach on me too? Every Hydra agent we've tried to take alive has crunched a little pill before we can stop them. But not you. So here's my brilliant theory. Philip starts eating the steak. You want to live. You're trying to intimidate me, Colonel. I brought you dinner. Passes him a piece of paper which Zola reads out loud. Given the variable information he has provided and in exchange for his full cooperation, Dr. Zola is being remanded to Switzerland. I sent that message to Washington this morning. Of course it wasn't coded. You guys haven't broken these codes, have you? That would be awkward. Schmidt will know this is a lie. And he's gonna kill you anyway, Doc. You're a liability. You know more about Schmidt than anyone. And the last guy you caused us was Captain Rogers' closest friend. So I wouldn't count on the very best of protection. There's you or Schmidt. It's just a hand that you've been dealt. Schmidt believes he walks in the footsteps of gods. Only the world itself will satisfy him. You do realize that's nuts, don't you? But the insanity of the plan is of no consequence. And why is that? Because he can do it. What's his target? His target is everywhere. Hydra main base. Schmidt addresses his soldier. Tomorrow, Hydra will stand master of the world, born to victory on the wings of Valkyrie. Our weapons will be powerless against us. If they shoot down one plane, hundreds more will rain fire upon them. If they cut off one head, 2 more shall take his place. Hail Hydra! His soldiers start saluting and shouting, Hail Hydra! In London, a part of the city destroyed by bombs. Formerly, the borrowers Steve enlisted the Howling Commandos. Peggy follows the voice of a radio through the rubble. Man on the radio. Blackout is still in effect throughout the London area. Please wait for the all clear. Your attention, please. All citizens shall remain indoors until further notice. Blackout is still in effect throughout the London area. Steve Rogers. When Peggy finds him, he's pouring himself some drink. Dr. Erskine said that the serum wouldn't just affect my muscles, it would affect my cells. Create a protective system of regeneration and healing, which means, I can't get drunk. Did you know that? Your metabolism burns 4 times faster than the average person. He thought it could be one of the side effects. It wasn't your fault. Did you read the reports? Yes. Then you know that's not true. You did everything you could. Did you believe in your friend? Did you respect him? Steve looks at her as if to say yes. Then stop blaming yourself. Allow Barnes the dignity of his choice. You damn well must have thought you were worth it. I'm going after Schmidt. I'm not going to stop till all of Hydra is dead or captured. You won't be alone. The team prepare a battle plan to take down Red Skull at its headquarters. Colonel Chester Phillips. Johann Schmidt belongs in a bookhouse. He thinks he's a god. He's willing to blow up half the world to prove it, starting with the USA. Schmidt's working with powers beyond our capabilities. He gets across the Atlantic. He'll wipe out the entire eastern seaboard in an hour. How much time we got? According to my new best friend, under 24 hours. Where is he now? Hydra's last space is here. Holding a photo he points to the base. In the Alps, 500 feet below the surface. So this is what we're supposed to do. I mean, it's not like we can just knock on the front door. Why not? That's exactly what we're gonna do. After Steve's been captured by Hydra soldiers and brought to Smith's weapon lab. Arrogance may not be a uniquely American trait, but I must say you do it better than anyone. Are there limits to what you can do, Captain? Or did Erskine tell you otherwise? He told me you were insane. He resented my genius and tried to deny me what was rightfully mine. But he gave you everything. So what made you so special? Nothing. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. After Schmidt had beaten him. I can do this all day. Oh, of course you can. Of course. But unfortunately, I'm on a tight schedule. Schmidt takes out the cube energy pistol and points it at Steve. So am I. Just then, Steve's team crashes through the windows of the weapons lab. Rogers, you might need this. He throws Steve's his shield. Thanks. Steve makes way through the Hydra base, which has fallen into chaos with the arrival of more Allied soldiers. Ooh, page 55. You got 5 more pages. Jim Marita, into his comm. We're in. Assault team, go. Phillips, move out. Keep your spacing. In Hydra base. Soldier, cut off one head, 2 more shall. He's killed by Phillips. Let's go find 2 more. As Steve chases Schmidt, he's confronted by a Hydra soldier with flamethrowers and saved by Peggy. After Peggy has killed the Hydra soldier. You're late. Weren't you about to? Right. Steve continues his chase, but after Schmidt boarded the Valkyrie, Steve is not fast enough to catch the plane. Behind him, Phillips and Peggy appear in the car and pick him up to chase the plane on the runway. Keep it steady. Just as Steve is about to leap from a roadster onto Schmidt's plane, Peggy stops him. Peggy Carter, wait, she kisses him. Go get him. Steve is surprised by the kiss and looks at Phillips. I'm not kissing you. Inside the Valkyrie, there are multiple fighter planes with their targets written on them. Boston, Chicago, and New York. After Steve has managed to disable the fighter planes and their pilots, he enters the cockpit where Schmidt is waiting. You don't give up, do you? No, they fight. You could have the power of the gods, yet you wear a flag on your chest and to think you fight a battle of nations. I've seen the future, Captain. There are no flags. Not my future. He flings his shield at Schmidt, who is thrown into the cubic console. What have you done? He picks up the cube in energy and starts to pour from it, revealing a window into space. A stream of blue energy engulfs Schmidt and takes him to the sky. The cube falls to the ground and burns it through until it falls into the sea below. Steve takes the plane's controls. On the screen he reads, Zeal, New York City, target New York City. He tries the radio, which is picked up by Hydra Control, occupied by Peggy, Phillips, and Rita. Come in, this is Captain Rogers. Do you read me? Captain Rogers, what is your... Steve, is that you? You alright? Peggy, Schmidt's dead. What about the plane? That's a little bit tougher to explain. Give me your coordinates, I'll give you a safe landing site. There's not going to be a safe landing, but I can try and force it down. I'll get Howard online, he'll know what to do. There's not enough time. This thing's moving too fast and is heading for New York. Referring to Schmidt's plane, speaking through the plane's control. I gotta put her in the water. Please don't do this. We have time, we can work it out. Right now I'm in the middle of nowhere. If I wait any longer, a lot of people are gonna die, Peggy. This is my choice. As he's forcing the plane down towards the water. I'm here. I'm gonna need a rain check on that dance. Peggy, with tears in her eyes. Alright, a week. Next Saturday, at Store Club. You got it. 8 o'clock on the spot. Don't you dare be late, understood? You know, I still don't know how to dance. I'll show you how. Just be there. Steve Rogers. We'll have the band play something slow. I'd hate to step on your... The line goes static and Peggy begins to cry. Steve, Steve, Steve. Later, the world celebrates the victory over Nazi Germany. The Howling Commandos are in a bar. Said the captain. They all drink. Stark on his search for Valkyrie in the Arctic Sea on the ship. They found the Tesseract. Sir. Stark steps to him and watches on the screen how the submarine grabs the cube. Take us to the next grid point. But there's not a trace of wreckage, and the energy signature stops here. Just keep looking. After Steve has been missing for some time, we see him awaken in a 1940 hospital and we hear a baseball game on an old radio when a woman walks into the room. Dodgers announcer. Curveball. High. Outside for ball one. So the Dodgers are tied, 4-4, and the crowd knows well that one swing of his bat, this fellow is capable of making it a brand new game again. Just an absolutely gorgeous day at the Ebbets Field. The Phillies have managed to tie up 4-4, but the Dodgers have 3 men on. Pearson, Van Rieser, and Philadelphia last month. Wouldn't the youngster like a hit there to return the favor? Pete leans in. Here's the pitch. Swung on. A line to the right. And it gets past Rizzo. 3 runs will score. Rieser heads hit third. Rocher is going to wave him in. Here comes the relay, but they won't get him. The door opens and an agent walks in. Shield agent. Good morning. She checks her watch, or should I say afternoon. Where am I? You're in a recovery room in New York City. The Dodgers take the lead, 8-4. Oh, Dodgers. Everyone is on their feet. What a game we have here today, folks. What a game indeed. Where am I really? I'm afraid I don't understand. The game is from May 1941. I know, because I was there. He gets up from the bed. Now I'm going to ask you again. Where am I? Captain Rogers. She secretly pushes an alarm. Who are you? 2 soldiers in black uniform enter the room and Steve knocks him out through the wall. Steve realizes he's on some kind of made-up set and runs out of there. Captain Rogers, wait. All agents, code 13. I repeat, all agents, code 13. Steve finds himself in a 2011's Times Square. He looks around him in shock. Numerous SUVs encircle him, and Fury steps out of one of the vehicles. At ease, soldier. Look, I'm sorry about that little show back there, but it's best to break it to you slowly. Break what? You've been asleep, Cap, for almost 70 years. Steve looks around him in shock. You gonna be okay? Yeah. I had a date. Lines after the end of credits. Steve is pummeling a punching bag in the gym in anger. It knocks off its chain, sending it flying across the room when Fury enters the gym. Trouble sleeping? Here with a mission, sir? I am. Trying to get me back in the world? Trying to save it. And that's the end of the movie. So, yeah, that was a pretty good movie. I'm gonna watch it again tomorrow, maybe. Uh, so, an hour 40 minutes. Okay, well, that's just the end of this video, so yeah, bye.